Well, I imagine a few of you have marched down a parade route to that one. Is that right? Yes, sir. Well, this next piece we'd like to play for you is called Chester, and it's based on a hymn tune by William Billings back in 1770 and became the marching song of the American Revolution. A very important song in the history of our country and written by a consummate American composer by the name of William Schumann. Thank you very much. Next, we'd like to perform for you a Sousa March. That's right. None other than the March King himself. John Philip Sousa wrote this march, although it's little known. We've got a very well-known one coming up in just a second, but this one is called Power and Glory. Its original name was March of the Mitten Men, named after a young man, or a man by the name of Mitten, who was a friend of Sousa's and ran the rail lines there in Pennsylvania and brought patrons to a park in the Philadelphia area, I believe, to hear the Sousa band. And of course, you know that the bands were just a huge thing, a form of entertainment before movies and all that good stuff, right? Early 20th century. Thousands would come out, and so he wrote this march to honor him. We really enjoy it, playing this march at California Baptist University because of the trio where he departs from his normal format and incorporates Mitten's favorite hymn, Onward Christian Soldiers. And this is Power and Glory. Well, I think we're doing pretty good on time here, so I'll take just a moment to tell you a little bit about the group. All of these young musicians and chamber singers, whom you'll hear from in just a minute, got up pretty early this morning, as you can imagine, because California Baptist University is in Riverside. That's right. Oh, I see. So some of you haven't heard of California Baptist University, didn't know where we were, huh? How many of you have heard of the school? CBU, California Baptist. Oh, fantastic. Well, tell the person next to you that's a great school, would you please? We're actually always in recruitment mode, okay? It's a private Christian university, and we would love to have your son or daughter, perhaps your grandson or daughter. Not you, sir. No, I think you may have crossed over. Not at all. Not at all, actually. It's a fully accredited Christian university offering, I think, in the neighborhood of 90 or 100 majors, something crazy like that. It's a lot. So anything you want to come and study, I think we have it at CBU, including, of course, music. This is the concert band. We also have a jazz band, pep band, a string ensemble, and choral music is huge at our school. We have 4 choirs, large groups, that are over 100 each. And when we get together and put them all in a room, or most of them in a room, for what we call the choral union, we have over 300 performers that are going to be performing on December 11th. You might want to note this down. December 11th, Handel's Messiah, and that will be at Cross Point Church in Chino. It's a bit of a hike from here, but it's a free concert, and I think you would enjoy hearing the Messiah with choir and orchestra, 300 performers. Well, if you're interested in talking more about the school, we'd love to do that, so come on up and see us afterwards. We can give you a brochure, you can look at our CD and all that kind of good stuff, okay? We would like to play another Sousa March for you. In fact, it is the most well-known Sousa March. You know which one it is? Yes, sir. That's right. He wrote this, Sousa did, on the boat. Actually, he wrote it in his head, coming back from Italy. You know, when he was in charge of the Marine Band for about 12 years, and then formed his own group that traveled internationally, and they were huge. They did thousands of concerts. He got word 4 days later, because, you know, we didn't have cell phones and internet and all that. He got word 4 days later that his manager had died. And so he got the band back on a boat immediately and came back to the States. And while on that ship, he wrote Stars and Stripes Forever in his head. And upon coming back to the U.S., he wrote down every note of it, and he said, have not changed a note since. It just came out perfect. So this is the consummate American march right here. And of course, it is our national march. And did you know who in 1987, by decree, said this will now be our national march? Did you know? Ronald Reagan, that is right. So I think it's more than fitting that we performed the Stars and Stripes Forever for you. You're going to hear a little piccolo solo over here by Erica Cleland, and I think the brass are going to stand up and impress in just a minute. All right, here we go, the Stars and Stripes.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now my distinct honor to introduce the California Baptist University Concert Band and Chamber Singers, conducted by Guy Holliday, singing Battle Hymn of the Republic.
Oh, let's do America the Beautiful first. I think we're going to do America the Beautiful first. It's not 11 o'clock yet. Is that okay with you? Mr. Announcer, please forgive me. One more number.
I think that the California Baptist University Chamber Singers and the University Concert Band deserve another round of applause for that wonderful beginning. Good morning. For those of you I've not had the chance to meet, my name is John Hybush, and I have the honor of being the Executive Director of the Ronald Reagan Presidential Foundation. Thank you all for joining us here this morning. I would now like to introduce the President Ronald Reagan Marine Corps League Detachment number 597, who will present the colors. I ask that you please stand for the colors and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and our national anthem. Present the colors.
Time. Out. Color guard. Hop. Out. Hoosh. Carry. Touch. Ready. 2. Ease up. Touch.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Retire the colors.
Order. Cut. Ready. 2. Out. Hoosh. Outward. Out.
Thank you. Please be seated. Before we go further this morning, there are a few people in the audience I'd like to recognize. I'd like to begin with, from Ventura County, the Honorable, our Supervisor, Peter Foy. Peter, thank you for coming. From the Naval Base, Ventura County, Commanding Officer James McHugh. Officer. The 452nd Air Mobility Wing for that great flyover this morning. And of course, a special thank you to Guy Holliday for providing today's world-class musical performances, and Paul DiNobilo and the Washington Artillery of New Orleans for their wonderful reenactments in the courtyard. Would I also like to give a welcome to Glenn Baker, our Chief Financial Officer and a veteran himself. Glenn. Thank you. And of course, a special thank you to all other veterans in our audience today. We thank you for your honor, for your bravery, and your dedication to our country and its freedom. We salute all of you. In honor of Veterans Day in 1983, in a radio address to the nation, President Reagan said the following, I quote, "Veterans Day is the day America sets aside to honor millions of our finest heroes. They are the men and women who defend our country and preserve our peace and freedom. If we remember that their dedicated service is in defense of our freedom, and if we understand that they put their lives on the line so we might enjoy justice and liberty, then their sacrifices will not be in vain." He concluded by saying, "Veterans know better than anyone else the price of freedom, for they suffered the scars of war. We can offer them no better tribute than to protect what they have won for us. That is our duty. They have never let America down. We will not let them down." In honor of these men and women, those who are currently fighting, those who are missing, those who have perished, and those who are veterans, may I please ask for a moment of silence. Thank you. And now to today's program. Our speaker today, using President Reagan's definition, is one of our finest heroes. He gave his best for America and for our freedom, serving our country with honor and distinction as a full-fledged Navy SEAL who deployed in Kenya, Thailand, Afghanistan, and Iraq. He's been awarded the Combat Action Ribbon, the Purple Heart, and the Bronze Star, just to name a few. But the honor in which he served didn't end when his overseas tours concluded. The lesson of taking care of his fellow troops during active duty resonated with him. Taking care of our troops when they return home is just as important, especially those that are wounded. And that's why Eric continues to give his best every day through his foundation, The Mission Continues, a charity that empowers wounded and disabled veterans to begin new lives as citizen leaders back here at home. Despite their injuries, the veterans of The Mission Continues are undertaking public service fellowships and leading service projects that strengthen communities across the country. Eric shares his story of an extraordinary leadership experience and service, both as a humanitarian and as a warrior, in his New York Times best-selling book, The Heart and the Fist, The Education of a Humanitarian, The Making of a Navy SEAL. Eric will be available after the program to sign copies of his book. But first, ladies and gentlemen, a true hero, Eric Greitens.
Mr. Highbush, thank you, sir. And Mr. Foy, Captain McHugh. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. There are many generations of veterans here today, and so I am reminded of the ancient saying, there is one thing that never grows old, and that is honor. Today, it is an honor to be with all of you. On this day, Veterans Day, it is also fitting for all of us to be here. We remember what a library represents. A library is a testament. It is a testament to the faith that we can learn from the past and become wiser. And a testament to our belief that in the struggles of those who have gone before us, that we may find some strength to guide us in the present day. And so it is particularly fitting that we should be here, for it was President Reagan, on the last Veterans Day when he was in office, who said that veterans represent what we all aspire to be: giving, unselfish, the epitome of human love, willing to sacrifice all in their service to others. The question before us today is, how do we honor those who have served? First, we must remember them. We remember veterans we have known, and we also remember that every veteran forms part of a long and unbroken line of men and women that have stepped forward to serve our country in its greatest moments of danger. We remember the first generation of citizen soldiers, called from their farms and families. We remember in December of 1776, when Washington's forces were a beleaguered rump army, a few thousand men on retreat. Charles Wilson Peel, then serving with the Pennsylvania militia, called the retreat the most hellish scene I ever beheld. As Continental soldiers filed past him, he recalled, "A man staggered out of line and came toward me. He had lost all of his clothes. He was in an old dirty blanket jacket, his beard long, and his face full of sores, which so disfigured him that he was not known to me on first sight. Only when he spoke did I recognize my brother James." Every generation has endured sacrifice. Remember the stories of my grandfather's generation, carrying the cause of freedom in World War II, as they rode on an uncertain sea towards uncertain shores, at a time when victory itself was uncertain. Their stomachs full of fear, waiting for the door to drop, knowing that that day, some of them would be called to give their lives. Every generation has stepped forward with courage. And today, another great generation has stepped forward, and I have been privileged to serve with them. In the spring of 2007, serving in Iraq, my team was hit by a suicide truck bomb. I was treated and returned to duty quickly. My friends, however, some of them standing an arm's length from me, were hurt far worse than I was. And when I returned home, I saw them, and I visited Bethesda Naval Hospital. As those of you who have met with our recently returned wounded soldiers and sailors and airmen and Marines will know, when you walk through those hospital doors, you are often talking with a very young man or woman, the balance of their lives ahead of them. I spoke with them about their unit, their hometown, their deployment, and I asked them, "What do you want to do when you recover?" And each one of them said to me, "I want to return to my unit." Through the mission continues, we have worked with men and women who have lost eyesight, lost hearing, lost limbs, yet they have never lost the desire to serve. And through the mission continues, they have turned their pain into wisdom. They have turned their suffering into strength. And those who once served as our citizen warriors abroad now serve as our citizen leaders here at home. These men and women are your sons and daughters. They are your brothers and sisters, if not in blood, then in spirit. For each of them represents what we know is true about ourselves as Americans. That when we understand who we are and what we offer to our fellow citizens and to the world, there is no fear too daunting, no challenge too great, that will keep us from fulfilling our promise of securing the blessings of prosperity, security, and liberty for those who will inherit tomorrow. Those who have served know two things. We know that America is an exceptional country. Indeed, it is the most free, most strong, most prosperous country in the history of the world. We also know that for us, nothing is guaranteed. Every freedom that we enjoy, every blessing and benefit that we have secured, every right we cherish, is ours only because every generation, men and women, step forward to serve. We honor those who have served by living their values, by rededicating ourselves to the service of our country. As it was when President Reagan first took office, today, many doubt the future of our country. Today, many doubt the resolve of our people. Today, I tell you that we can look back with pride and forward with confidence because we step into the future surrounded by another great generation. So today, as we look forward, let us call on the strength from the past and recall the words of our 40th president who said, "We will always remember. We will always be proud. We will always be prepared so that we may always be free." Thank you. God bless you. And God bless America.
Thank you, Eric. You are an inspiration to all of us, and thank you for your service. It's now time in our program to recognize all of you who are here today representing different branches of the military. The California Baptist University Chamber Singers and Concert Band will be performing a service medley. When you hear your branch's song, please stand so that we can salute you. In addition, if you are a family member here representing a member of the military, please stand in their place when their branch's song is played so we can remember everyone who has participated or sacrificed in protecting our country's freedom.
U.S. Army.
thank you all so much for being with us today. We will conclude today's program with the playing of God Bless the USA. As a reminder, there are activities in the library's courtyard until 3 o'clock this afternoon, and in just a few moments, Eric will be signing copies of his book, which you can still purchase. I saw a few left right here in the lobby. In addition, all veterans and active members of the military will receive free admission to view the library exhibits today in the Air Force One Pavilion. God bless you all.
We're actually going to be playing God Bless America instead of God Bless the USA. So let us play it through once, and then we'd invite you to stand and sing it with us. Would you do that? God Bless America.
For all those who are interested in getting a signed copy of the book, if you could just come right over on this side, right behind, right in front of where the choral is, and you'll be getting your book signed on stage. Thank you.